Hey guys, how you doing? Back at you again with another episode of Don't Knock the Hustle. Man, back at you guys again. I'm on the road as usual, right? Where it comes with the territory, of hustling and doing what you got to do on the day-to-day to make it. This is a podcast series that I put together for ultimately, man, my folks that had to work the non-traditional jobs, caregiving, I think about, ride share, I think about auto transport, I think about food delivery, man, bartending, whatever, right? I mean, if you work non-traditional, contractual kind of work, it's not a 9 to 5, 48-hour week, punch in, punch out kind of scenario. That's me, right? By default, my lifestyle required it, as I have to take care and care for a special need loved one that's 24-hour care. So guys, I mean, with all that being said, I'm gonna tap right into today's hustle, right? And as you guys know, if you don't follow before, I own and operate, a couple businesses myself, a nonprofit, and some other things. So, I'm definitely, keeping busy. Being a parent that have these kind of responsibilities, it takes you away from a traditional 9 to 5 job where you have to, you have to do what you have to do to make myself available at the same time if something kind of goes down back at home. So, there you guys have it, right? I mean, that's pretty much my layout as it pertains to, that. But yeah, today I'm going to be talking about content creation. And guys, once again, this is, kind of a grown folks kind of a conversation. So if there's kids around, please be aware, have them, kind of move to another room, or you move to another room, because every now and then I like to spice it up a little bit, and if that calls to, use some grown folks words, then so be it. But anyways, I think about content creation. I have a lot of, things kind of going on right now, multiple hustles, which I think is a great thing, with everything that's kind of going on with the landscape of the government shutdown and policies and things changing, within our state of Arizona. It calls for you to get creative, right? You got to go in your bag of tricks and pull out something that that you can sustain where it can pay the bills. I'd rather continue to keep pushing, than I guess rolling over. Some people kind of roll over when things don't roll right in these sort of situations. But nevertheless, content creation, that's that's been something that I don't know, man. Me and content creation, kind of what I'm on right now, man. We got a little thing going on, right? Initially, my whole goal was to use content creation and social media as a vehicle to push what's important to me with my business, right? My other businesses, and it's doing that, right? But I understand that I see the power in the more I immerse myself into it, the more I believe I will channel more customers my way. Now, guys, you're talking to somebody that, I was just a guy sitting at home on the couch drinking beer, watching the game. I barely even knew how to use my phone or computer at that rate, right? I'm not saying I'm the best, but I came a long way. And if I can think about what being a content creator, it put me in a great position right now to ultimately, as I use this scenario, it put people outside my club, right, so to speak. I always had the club, right? If I can get you guys to kind of envision a little bit, think about it. When you when you going out somewhere, right? I'll say it that way. When you going out somewhere, you going to a bar or something. Generally, people kind of, they aid to bars that's popping, right? You know what I mean? Popping, right? We want to go somewhere where it's popping, and one of the ways that's that says that is usually when you pull up to the club and you have all kind of people lined up ready to go in it. And that's what I did with content creation. I was able to do that, right? I was able to put people outside the club. Now, just like the club, at the door they have security. Security kind of waves off or weed through the people in the line, whether you're old enough, whether you this, whether that, you're a troublemaker, you're broke, whatever, you ain't got no ID, right? That's what I'm in the position at this point right now. I done created a line around my building, which is the behind closed building. The behind closed doors building, the Down Syndrome Forgotten building, the Whitley Taylor Functional Learning Hub building, right? The things that I'm doing, I created that line. My viral, and I mention this all the time, my viral, so to speak, as it pertains to, content creation and all that kind of stuff is is going to get a hold of what I have that can actually use it. I'm happier to somebody reaching out to me and tell me how much my influence them, if that makes sense, right? My content did something for somebody, changed somebody's life. My delivery, my personality connected to them where maybe somebody else's didn't. That's my viral. So I struggled for quite some time trying to make sense of, I guess, quote unquote, being viral. And we are. And if I don't like to use that term, what I take out of content creation is I put myself in position to nevertheless create a line around my club, but we put ourselves in position to get to hear the people speak. That's what's more important. It's not necessarily, hey, okay, well, we have a video too with close to 1 million, and then another one is over 1 million views. Now, however, what's more important to me is the dialogue, the conversation that coming along, because we open a can of worms as it pertains to caregiving. That's what's important to me. That's it. That's all, right? Because now I don't have 10 people in front of me and only 2 of them talking. I have 1.5 million and 100,000 talking. I'll take those numbers all day long. If I have to play the numbers game to get the answers that I need, then so be it. And that's the outtake, right? The convenience of content creation and podcasting and all this other kind of stuff is, you get to take it on the road, and you also get to, utilize your lifestyle. If you don't have a problem with it, and I don't, to a certain extent, right? The one thing that I focus on right now is just making meaningful material, so to speak, kind of like a comedian, kind of like a politician, kind of like a pastor. I can go on and on and on. They all move the same, right? They got to fill the room out. They got to, they put time and quality in the content that they put out. They don't believe in putting out bullshit, right? They want to put something that you hope that will stick, and that's what I do, right? I go into my question jar, Caregivers Chronicle. That's one of my vocals, right? All those folks that's there, that's tagging in on our couple videos that we have. You do got to tap in. If you want to tap in and see that video that I'm referring to that kind of gave some spark to what I have going on, give me a fist bump. Give me a fist bump. Give me a pound, whatever you want to do, right? Love it, see it, hey, request it, whatever, right? I'll send it to you. I mean, it's so remarkable because, I mean, every bit of about 30 seconds. I'd say give and take about a minute. Give and take about a minute. Minute video changed the life, not only for us, right? Because we have people that chimed in with us, and the system praises us and calls us viral. However, for us, we looked at it as, hey, this was a time where, you know, we got folks around our club, and not only did they got folks around the club, we got folks talking to us, right? We got a bunch of people that click view. We get for days. I got videos back to back, you know, that potentially gonna go viral. But what's the good if you guys or those guys are not you know, participating, so to speak, right? We're not dialoguing. We're not trying to fix a problem. We're just raising our hand. We're barbershop talk. That's all we're doing, and that's how I kind of equated overall with barbershop talk. Barbershop talk is, oh, yeah. You know, those little badass kids just always running through the neighborhood and blah, 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 and stealing cars and doing stuff. Okay, but damn, every time I come in to get a haircut, this is the same thing we're talking about over and over and over again. What we're going to do, what systems are we going to implement? How are we going to attack the situation instead of complaining about it every week? And that's what and how I feel when it comes to that. But as a whole, content creation, I would say, man, it's a great hustle. A great hustle, right? It forces you to use your head. It focuses you to, you know, do some research. It focuses you to learn something again, right? I mean, and guys, I'm in the middle of running 2 or 3 jobs, homeschooling with my own homeschool, being a husband, being a parent to 2 or 3 other kids that's in the household. Like I said, homeschooling, all this stuff, right? And still found time in the midnight, burning the midnight oils at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. Just learning the trade. I'm not the best at it, but man, I found some success at it. Like I said, it brings people to the courtyard, so to speak. And I want you guys, I got a post in the Caregivers Chronicle platform where it talks about what content creation, I mean, you know, is when you think about that whole concept in itself and how far it goes back. Content creation and podcast, not necessarily podcasting, but that style that everybody then took and made phenomenal livings out of it has actually been done for years, you know. You gotta check it out. I'll drop a link to all my little attachments or whatever, but I want you guys to, you know, think about what content creation could do for you if you take your time out to do it, instead of having that old mentality, oh, I don't know how to use that junk, I don't want to put my business out there in the street and all. I guess. But when you're in a situation like, you know, like myself, right? When you're in a position like this, when government making cuts, when programs that, you know, potentially pay us and 2/3 of the income that we make going out the door, ESA is collapsing, you know, now they changing their perspectives and how they doing things. We got we got life coming at us in different angles, right? And you find an honest hustle, right? You find an honest way to make some money to pay your bills. By all means, like, I can care less what somebody talk. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, hey, you ain't done whatever, like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? So guys, yes, take your time. You know, think about it as well. I'm in the process right now. I'm going to go ahead and do it. My success, the success I had with social media and making the best out of it and bringing the people to the courtyard, which is not hard. Which is not easy, right? At minimum, with 1.5 sitting at me in front of me with one video, Man, if I can just get 100,000 out of that, just to look at me, I get 10 of them to commit. You feel me? It's the numbers game. And if that's the game I got to play, then so be it. And it's long money, right? You know, some people look for, content creation, videos, podcasts, and all that. You know, they're looking for the quick hit. I'm not looking for the quick hit. I'm looking for the long hit, right? The long run, right? The residual run. So I can stop working. The money just continue to keep coming. Why? Because I do what I love, right? And it shows. It shows. It's crystal clear. It's this all the passion that comes out when I communicate with folks. Whether it's a podcast, whether it's the group, whether it's whatever, right? You see it. So guys, yes, take content creation serious. I will be putting together, I guess, a book. Yeah, it's a book. It'll be an ebook. I'm gonna put an ebook on to kind of, explain what I kind of went through. Just literally screwing around, bud of jokes. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Right, screwing up video, all kinds of stuff. Right, to establishing a tremendous following. I think that story is worth sharing. I think it's worth really looking into. So I'll make it available to you guys. But in the meantime, I'll be dropping links and things like that for you guys, talking about, some of the things that I do, the businesses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And ultimately my book, Behind Closed Doors, because, that's just such a phenomenal book. I believe it can help any and everybody. With all that being said, guys, I'm about to tap in. I'm currently right now doing one of my gig works right now. I got a car picking up from the dealership. Ultimately, this car here is going to a customer. So I got to take this car right now, get it all cleaned up, get it ready, get ready to drop it off. Invoice it. A couple weeks, man, my money is in the bank. But other than that, guys, hey, thank you for chiming in to another episode, man, of Don't Knock the Hustle. I'll holler. You guys take it easy.